That's all right. That's what I'm supposed to do, son. I'm supposed to make sure you got what you need. Nubis, up, Nubis. When I'm outside, I'm gonna he gonna be out here with me. Welcome to a special edition of the Mad Truckers Live. Going on early today. This live is for all who would like to attend, regardless of your religion, sexual orientation, political affiliation. The only requirement is that if you would like to participate in the comments section, to first read my channel description. If it is something that you are interested in, come back and follow the directions by greeting everybody, regardless if I'm here by myself or if there's a million people watching, with a peaceful greeting according to your culture, your customs, and your ways. After you do that, we can open it up for conversations. And today is dedicated to the special edition of the live is dedicated to Angelic Discipline, who went live and they started to mess with his signal. And right now, you know, they mess with the man's signal. And I'm doing this live to prove something, not to myself, but to anyone that cares to know. You cannot kill the truth, regardless of what truth you speak. You can't kill it. They tried, and it failed. And they're trying now, and it's going to fail. You know, the truth, not my truth, not my opinion, not my feelings, but the truth. They tried to unalive the truth with 3 nails, crown of thorns, a tav, a whip, and a spear. It didn't work. And I can do all things through Mashiach to strengthen me. With that being said, we're going to let the conversation happen for itself. Like I said, this live is dedicated to my Buddha, to my Aki, Angelic Discipline. They mess with his signal. Just let you know that these toys that we play with, they don't play fair. And when I say they, I mean the ones that, use it to control, manipulate information, twisting half-truths into those whole lies that people believe that I'm talking about in my channel description. And like I said, we're going to let the conversation happen for itself. And that's why I'm dedicating it to the brother, because I was listening to him. And I'm trying to get privy on a lot of things with this technology that we all are going to be slaves to in a minute. So with that being said, welcome. Shalom. That means I extend my positive energy and peace be unto you, whoever you are. If you're watching this now or at a later date. And I usually go live Tuesday through Saturday. And I've been sporadic with the lives because I have a lot going on. And the thing is, I don't do social media for likes, clicks, and views. I do social media strictly for my channel description. And there are some people that take it to their advantage because they're harvesting creativity. Know it! Know it! Sit. Stay away from the road. They disrupt the signal of anybody that speaks truth to lies. I'm not going to say truth to power, because truth has power all in itself. Butt naked, ugly truth defeats a well-dressed lie any day, any time of the any time of the week, throughout history. And there's nothing new under the sun. It's like it was then, it is now. The truths that I speak, they're not attacks. Nubis! Come on, Nubis. Get in. Get in. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Shalom, Lee Simmons. Yo, that's a peaceful greeting. And thank you for attending the live. We're going to let the conversation happen for itself. And if you read my channel description, you follow the directions. If you'd like to ask me a question, please feel free to be respectful. And I'll give you an answer. And this live is for conversations. We're going to let the conversation happen for itself. In other words, the way it works is this way. If you ask me a question, I'll give you an answer, and then I'll ask you a question. Okay? Then after I answer your question, I'm going to ask you a question. If you refuse to answer my question, my return question, that's the end of our conversation. And yeah, he is a nice dog. I appreciate that. And Nubis appreciates that too, don't you, Nubis? Yeah, they get a bad rap. His breed, anyway. His breed gets a bad rap. He's a pit bull. And they always say that they're violent and hostile and whatnot. That's not true. A dog, regardless if it's a pit bull or whatever breed of dog that might be, they're only as vicious as the owner makes them. And this dog is not vicious unless, you try to do something to me or try to do something to my family. Dogs are supposed to be protectors. They're supposed to be companions. It's a he. He. Anubis is a he. And thank you for asking. And where are you watching from, Lee Simmons? If you don't... See, like I said, I'm not going to skip the format. I answered your question. I asked you a question. If you refuse to answer my question, that's the end of our conversation. MK, if you can't follow directions, please scroll on. And it's obvious from your question, you cannot follow directions. If you want to know what this live is about, if you want to know how to participate in the comment section, because listening and watching is always free. The only thing you have to do is rewind this live or watch the beginning of any of my other lives. And they'll give you specific directions. Where are you from, Lee Simmons? Where are you from? I know you're on your phone, but where are you from? Stating where are you currently on the planet? Where are you at currently on this planet that they call Earth? What state? MK, if you cannot be civilized, please scroll on, because I'm going to deal with you accordingly in a minute. You got one more chance. Okay? I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to entertain anybody unless you want me to entertain you, detain you, so that a truth can enter into you. Because if your brain is smooth, that means that you suffer from a syndrome that I discovered in 2016, that I've recently published, and it is valid. And it comes from a cream, a salve, a wax. It's metaphorical and white. Comes in a jar, marks supremacy that everybody on the planet, regardless of your skin tone or language, has had a taste of. And it's up to you whether or not you want to flush out your headgear or if you would like to participate in a civilized fashion. Hinckley. I know there's a Hinckley, Kentucky. Are you in Kentucky, Lee? Achim Yahaba, Angelic. This live is dedicated to you because they cut your signal off, man. And this is to prove a point. That they, not to me, but it proves a point that proves itself, that you cannot stop a truth. You cannot stop a whole truth, regardless of what you're discussing. You can't stop it. They want to stop it. But even though they don't like how we play with these toys, I can tell you what, MK, you have the day you deserve, okay? It's obvious you have smooth brain syndrome and you don't want to cure yourself, and that's fine. You have a dog, Lee? That's nice. Yeah, that's cool. Like I said, dogs are good companions, aren't they? They're good companions. They are very good companions. And that's what they're for. Yeah, that's what they're doing. And see, didn't I call it? I told you that's what they're going to do. If you're speaking truth to these lies that they're putting out, you're a target. They send trolls to come to your live and stuff, and I watched it, and I'm still trekking with that. It's just I have a lot of things going on, but I'm going to definitely check out the Discord. I'm still working toward the Discord. I just don't want to jump in it until I really have it. It's like with the Night Cafe and with the server. I'm getting used to those things. You know what I'm saying? I really want to be used to them and be real proficient in it before I move to the next step, because I want to just rush into it. And I do appreciate everything you do, Bruda. That's why I'm going live early today, because they can't stop the truth. No more than they try to stop the prophet. They can't do it. And the prophet walked, peace be upon him, he walked. The prophet as well as the high prophet, they both walked on this earth a long time ago, before we were even born. Yeah. And that's a critical truth. That's a critical truth. That is my personal truth. See, that's the thing with smooth brain syndrome. People that have smooth brain syndrome, their personal truth never aligns with the critical truth because they can't explain why they believe what they believe or why they think what they think outside of saying that it's your opinion. And it's not an opinion. These are historical things that are proven. This is based on evidence. Critical truth is based on evidence. It's based on evidence, and I haven't been for a while, Bruda. For real, I haven't been because I had a lot going on. I had some family come into town, and when family comes into town, you know they come and they come by from time to time, and I always welcome them. And they always try to sway me from what I know, not what I believe. Try to sway me from what I know, and that critical truth kind of, you know. Sometimes they get a lot, sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. But at the end of the day, it's up to the individual because SBS is 100% curable based upon the patient's compliance. You don't go, in other words, you do not go to a doctor to cure yourself of SBS. You research things that you believe are true. You research all of them, whether it's dealing with Bitcoin, whether it's dealing with religion, whether it's dealing with the Bible, whether it's dealing with the Quran, whether it's dealing with truck maintenance. Whatever it is, you research it for yourself. And you compile the evidence. And you have to say F your feelings first. If you cannot say F your feelings, okay? If you can't say F your feelings, this live is not for you. Because I'll let you know right now, F my feelings. I'm not talking from a place of emotion. Feelings change. Critical truth does not change. At least, Simmons, you've been here before. And I do remember people that come into my life. And I do appreciate you being here. And this time you're a little more civilized than you were last time. But still, you have to be civilized. You have to be civilized in the comment section, respectfully speaking. And it's not about your dog or my dog. I'm not going to divert from the topic. Okay? Now, if you want to have a civilized conversation, you know, please stay. If that's beyond your scope or your reach or your grasp, if you haven't the intellectual maturity to have a civilized conversation, you know, just scroll on. Nobody's holding a gun to your head making you watch me or participate. And I do appreciate, you know, you being here today because it gives validity to what I'm saying about SBS. It's not an insult. It's not a put down. It's an observational statement based upon the preponderance of the evidence that people leave in the comment section. That's all it is. You can run from everybody, but you can never run from yourself. See, that's the thing with SBS. It's up to the person. It's not an insult because I had to cure myself of SBS to let you know, whoever's watching. I had it. I had to cure myself. Fact of business, everybody's had a taste of that metaphorical wax, that cream, that salve. It comes in a jar. This white marks supremacy. The world is run on that. And it's not language specific. It's not location specific. It's not skin tone or specific. Anybody can slather it on. And what it does is it buffs out your morals. It buffs out your capacity for critical thought. That's what it does. And truth that doesn't align with a white supremacist agenda, it slides off. Truth about, you know, white supremacist agenda, you know, it gets them upset. They get to project. And I'm not saying that's you or anybody in the comment section, because like I said, I'm just talking, right? I'm just talking truthfully. Conversation, the working definition of a conversation is truthful and honest questions and answers to solve using logic to come up with solutions to problems. I'm not here to be a problem for anybody. I subscribe to the philosophy and theology of one Russell Jones. Yeah. You might know him better. He's a member of the Wu-Tang Clan. They call him the Old Dirty Bastard. The Old Dirty Bastard. Mm-hmm. And the Old Dirty Bastard has a song where he says, if I got a problem got a problem until it's gone. I live by that. Because it's really a reflection of a higher standard that I keep hashtagging. And it's not mine. It's not mine. It's the one they call Christ. The one that people now call Jesus, that his mama and daddy never called. But yeah, Christ said, do unto others as you have them do unto you. For this is the law and the prophets. That goes back to that problem thing, right? Because if everybody did to other people how they wanted to be done, treated people the way they wanted to be treated, will we have all of these problems in the world? But it's only a remnant. It's not everybody. It's only a remnant that can step outside of their ego. And that's the cure for SBS. You have to first admit that the world ain't all about you. Your skin tone, your religion, whatever. You have to step outside of your ego. Flush out that wax. Subscribe to that higher standard to do unto others as you have them do unto you, regardless if you believe in the Bible or Quran or not. That's something an atheist can agree to. Why would you treat somebody in a manner you don't want to be treated? Because if somebody mistreated you, right? And you think it's okay to mistreat others, how can you expect anybody to have sympathy for you? How does that make sense? How is that justice? And how is that American? If you want to go on that branch, they say America is liberty and justice for all, but that's a lie. There's never been liberty and justice for all in this nation. And just because the colonizers didn't break laws that weren't laws yet, it doesn't mean that this is their country. It doesn't mean that they didn't steal it. Hudson, the car spotter, if you want to come in and be sexually deviant with your comment, scroll on. This live is marked for adults. And your comment that's hidden right now eloquently proves that SBS is a real affliction. And I want to say thank you for that. Because it proves that you're not civilized. And you project. And you can only jump to insults because you don't have the intellectual discipline. And your ignorance is your bliss. But look up the word bliss. To Hudson, the car spotter. Look up what the definition of the word bliss. And then ask yourself, is ignorance bliss? Ask yourself, are you a Christian? Hudson, the car spotter. Are you a Christian? Are you a Muslim? Are you Jewish? Does that go in line with what the holy books say? What you just typed in the comment section? Right. We have SBS. It's not an insult. Hudson, the car spotter. It's not an insult. It's an observational statement based upon a preponderance of the evidence that you just left in my comment section. Because you can't follow directions. You don't have the mental maturity to greet people that you do not know in a peaceful fashion, which means that you're uncivilized. You are uncivilized. All you can do is nanny boo-boo. Right? Right? That's a you problem. It's not a me problem. I don't have any problems. Okay? And I want to say thank you for trying to create problems in the live. I'm at the 18 minute. Come on, Nubis. I'm at the 18-minute mark. And Scott Schaefer, thank you for your projections. Because you have no life. If you did, you wouldn't be in my comment section. But I'd like to say thank you for leaving that evidence. You're the number 3 commenter. Proving that SBS is a real affliction, because I said at the beginning of this live, as I do every live. If you want to participate in the comment section, there are requirements that you're not meeting. And if greeting people you do not know peacefully is beneath you, you're the one that is a pseudo-intellectual. And that's your projection. And I tell you what, I don't have time for trolls today. All right? So what you can do is, Bill Cosby, all this sexually deviant stuff that you're putting in, and I don't do it for viewers. That's why you have smooth brain syndrome, Scott Schaefer, because you don't listen to directions. I don't do social media for likes, clicks, views, or to go viral. I do it for my channel description, which you did not read because you are not an intellectual. Your brain is smooth. Obviously, I must have said something that tripped you off. It's the truth. It's a critical truth that conflicts with your personal truth. Doesn't it, Scott? I know it does. And that's what presses you. You've come to my live today to press yourself. And that's fine. When I get tired of you, I'll know exactly what to do. Okay? And I want to say thank you for providing that evidence that you are a pseudo-intellectual, Scott Schaefer, because you don't know the definition of what an intellectual is. You don't have intellectual discipline. You don't have moral discipline. You're probably a sexual deviant like Bill Cosby, aren't you? You don't have to answer these questions. They're really rhetorical. Your evidence, like it says in the good book, in the load that the mad trucker's always hauling, it says, by their fruits ye shall know them. And I know who you are, Scott. And that presses you, doesn't it? That's a you problem. Now, truthfully, I'm speaking sincerely, Scott. And shalom to Joshua. Thank you for joining the live today. That's a question, but with the K's, I don't know what that is. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. If that's according to your culture, your customs, and your ways, if that's a peaceful greeting, then I appreciate you. But we're talking about Scott Schaefer and how he is proving that SBS is a real affliction in my comment section. And we're going to see if Scott wants to help himself or if he's just going to laugh and nanny boo-boo because he's a child. And see, like I said at the beginning of my live is for adults. And Scott is not behaving like an adult. More or less, not even to mention an intellectual. Yeah. You might need to get a dictionary, Scott. Look up the word intellectual. That you are not. This is an open forum for conversations. I'm not here to debate you. I'm not here to go to war with you. I go to war with lies and liars. You have no evidence, but you're giving me a lot of evidence now, aren't you, Scott? Yeah, but you are, aren't you? Infatuated, aren't you? Now, since this is about conversations, right? It's about conversations, Scott. Are you a homosexual? Like I said, my live is welcome to all. It is welcome to all, regardless of your sexual orientation, your politics, the color of your skin, your religious affiliation. And if you're a homosexual, that's fine. But I'm letting you know right now, Scott, this isn't the place for your infatuation for my copper-colored skin. If it's turning you on. And obviously it is, because if the only thing you can say is that there's no one here. You're here now, aren't you? Aren't you? Like I said, all of which is a you problem. It really is. And if you don't want to help yourself with your problem, that's on you. But the next thing that's going to happen to you, Scott, is you're going to start typing insults and more projections in the comment section, giving me more evidence that what I've discovered in 2016 is actually a valid syndrome. It's at epidemic proportions, especially in the United States. Yeah. Socially deviant, starved sociopaths like you, Scott. And if you want to help with your problem, you understand. Yeah, sexually deviant. I'm pretty sure that my moderator sees what you type, Scott, and it proves exactly what I'm saying. And the conversation is about the load. We're going to talk about the load today. What's the mad trucker hauling? Mad trucker has a tabah load. If you don't know what that word means, please look it up. But it's tabah. Even the parts of it that I wipe my backside with, like the Book of Mormon. Yeah, that Mormon Jesus I'm always going on about. Yeah, that they discovered long before Joseph Smith. Not saying that to be insulting, but if that's what you believe, that's your personal truth. And it is a political truth, because usually they don't want you to read anything outside of those 66 books of the Bible. Or if you're a Mormon, they don't even want you reading anything outside of the Book of Mormon. But the scripture says that, what my Lord says, it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Like Scott here, he didn't want knowledge. He doesn't like knowledge. It makes his brain hurt as it slides off as gray matter. And that's a you problem, Scott. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sexually deviant. And you will be reported after this live. And believe you me, I always take screenshot of trolls like you that hide behind avatars that are sexually deviant. And that's a you problem, Scott. And see, that's what this internet has done. These little toys that they got. People say some of the most outlandish things that they wouldn't hold up for. They wouldn't hold up for. If Scott Schaefer ever saw me in person, he wouldn't break wind to say anything that he's typing in his comment section. Yeah, proving that he has smooth brain syndrome. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what Scott is doing. He's a sexual deviant. That's what he is. And it's very disgusting that he's a grown kid. Not a child, he's a kid. So to all my Christians out there, yeah, he's a kid. Clan indoctrinated disciple and servant. KID. Mm-hmm. That's what Scott is. And thanks, Scott. Appreciate the evidence. And like I was saying, the load that I'm hauling is not only the Quran. I've been reading the Quran and I've been watching some informational stuff, and I discovered, and it's not that I didn't know it, but it's good to always go back and read things again so you can get some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. No, I didn't say being gay was deviant, Scott. I didn't say that. I said you're deviant. You're deviating from the topic to talk about things of a sexual nature when that's not the topic of this live. It's not the subject we're discussing, but it's what you're projecting. You see how that works? All that evidence you left in my comment section. Now, see, what you're going to do is you're going to keep doing what you're doing in hopes that I just go ahead and delete all your comments, but that's not going to happen. They will be screenshotted. You know, nobody's backpedaling but you. Yeah, teaching moments. Thank you, Bruda. It's exactly what it is, Brother Angelic. I appreciate that, Aki. It's exactly what it is, a teaching moment. Teaching Scott. I'm going to train you how to step outside of your ego. Flush that white wax out of your medulla oblongata. Research some things for yourself so you can cure yourself of your affliction. And you are a homophobe, Scott. I asked you a respectful question. You said nobody's watching, but you're here typing it in my comment section. So what other reason are you here for? You started those whole sexual deviant remarks. You're backpedaling, and I'm not going to block you. I'm going to ignore you because you're not intellectual. You don't have the intellectual discipline, the emotional discipline, you know, and you're welcome because I'm showing you the attention. And this is not me being smart. I'm being honest and truthful. You know, you're welcome for giving you the attention that your mama and your daddy should have gave you when you were a child, but they didn't. You're welcome, whether you want to thank me or not, Scott. And it isn't a good look what you're doing in the comment section. Now back to the load that I'm hauling. You know, I've been reading some surah in the Quran. And Brother Angelic, don't hold me to the numbers because I've been reading it. It's towards the end. It talks about 5 messengers that mark the apocalypse. And if you read it, it reads just like Revelation, including Christ. It's in there. You see, there's a common thread. When you step outside of those books they make up as they go along, because like I said, the Mad Trucker got this load, right? Mad Trucker got a Quran in his trailer. Mad Trucker got the 66 books in his trailer. Mad Trucker got the books they took out, like the book of Enoch, the book of Tobit, the book of Susanna, Bell and the Dragon. It tells you really what's going on with Daniel in that lion's den. They don't want you to know in this load. But guess what else I got in the load? I got the Book of Mormon in my load. Wait a minute, the Book of Mormon? Yes. Because Christ said you heard the commandment to love your neighbor as you love yourself, but I say unto you to love your enemy as you love yourself, right? How can you love your enemy if you don't know your enemy? I'm in Mississippi, home of the blues. B.B. King sing this song. To know you is to love you, but you don't know me, right? To know somebody is to love them. Okay, How can I love a Mormon if I don't know what they believe? Even if it conflicts with a critical truth and a personal truth. The only way you can love somebody who is a Mormon is to know what they believe and discern it for yourself. Digest it for yourself. Like the scripture says, we take the whole scroll, right? So whenever somebody presents you with a scroll, whether that's you have to ingest it and then test it by the Ruach HaKodesh, because there's no lying in the Ruach HaKodesh. And if this is your first time, you never heard that before, that's what they call the Holy Spirit. You test that scroll that you ingest by the Holy Spirit because there's no lying in the Holy Spirit. And it will verify whether it's true or it's not. And then, like Christ said, you are at a crossroad. You have to pick up your tav. You can leave it down there and keep rolling with a well-dressed lie, or you can pick up that tav, knowing that your family's going to cut you off. Your friends might cut you off. Hey, your neighbor's going to cut you off. But you still truck with that load because it's the Ruach HaKodesh that's the discerning factor in all of it. Thank you, son. Oh, this is junk mail. You can put this right in the trash. And I do appreciate you, Scott. I do. Because you don't know what an ego is. And I appreciate everybody that's watching, if you're watching this now at a later date. Because like I said, the Mad Trucker ain't changed in years. And the Mad Trucker doesn't jockey for people to come and view. My channel is for those that seek it. I'm a one of one. Just like Bruda Angelic in the comment section. Just like Scott Schaefer. Just like, who else joined us today? Just like Lee Simmons. Just like Muyaka Joshua. Just like everybody that's watching me right now, you are a one of one. And if you come here to be right, Scott, you're right. But my live isn't for those that quest to be right. It's for those that quest for righteousness. For those that quest for righteousness, the Bible that you Christians carry into the churches says, those that quest for righteousness shall be filled. And I quest for it on a daily basis. And I walk in a critical truth. Christ is a critical truth. And you have a choice to make it your personal truth outside of your political truth. Because what's the truth about Christ? Christ spoke out against politics. He spoke out against the same Roman government that put him on the tav. He spoke out against them same preachers, pastors, reverends, right? They didn't call them that back then, right? They called them Sadducees and Pharisees back then. But they're the same ones they call preachers today. Ministers, preachers. Yeah, I'm not saying all of them. But it goes back to what I said about that whole scroll, doesn't it? You being a one of one, you have to work out your salvation with fear and trembling. I'm not saying I got all the answers. That's why I go live. For those that seek those answers. That's why I don't do it for a whole bunch of views. I don't care. Today is a beautiful day. Today is a beautiful day. Wherever you are on this earth plane. Wherever you are on this earth plane. Today is a beautiful day. Today is a special day. And I say this all the time too. I'm going to tell you why today's a special day. There were some people who were breathing yesterday that are not breathing today. And they really wish they could be. That's one reason why today's a special day. The second reason why today's a special day is because throughout the annals of time, history, space, and the cosmos, they say never say never. Well, Mad Trucker says that every day. There's never. And when I say never, I do mean never. There's never, ever, 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 ever been a day like today. It is unique and wonderfully made. And everybody's right. Everybody's right. But not everybody's righteous. And I can admit when I'm wrong. That's why I'm right. I'm right because I can admit when I'm wrong. But if I'm wrong, you have to come with a critical truth. You have to come with evidence. Evidence. Not because I said so or because somebody told me so or that's because what I believe. It has to be a critical truth. And if you come to me with a critical truth that proves that what I thought was true is not true, a man can admit when they're wrong. And that's something else about Scott. If he was a man, he could admit that he's wrong. He said, my ego is amazing. This has nothing to do with my ego. Son, don't do that. My ego. I don't do this for my ego. I don't do this. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm at the 30-minute mark. Likes are appreciated, but they're not required. Shares are appreciated, but they're never required. They're appreciated, but they're not required. The only thing that I require is what I always require. First, read my channel description. If it's something that you'd like to participate in, because listening to me and watching me is free. But if you want to participate in the comment section, simply greet everybody peacefully, regardless if I'm here by myself or if there's a million people in the room, with a peaceful greeting. A peaceful greeting. According to your culture, your customs, and your way. Your way, the way that you're going. Because if you ain't going my way, this live ain't for you. People weed themselves out. I serve the Most High Yahweh. Atshem Yahweh, Atshem Yashivah, Atshem Ruach HaKodesh. And it's not just a hashtag to me. That's the hill I'm willing to die on. Scratch that. That's the hill I'm going to die on. The whole truth. Nobody has to throw me under the bus. You don't have to project things and call me things that I'm not. Look up the word homophobe. I'm not a homophobe. Phobia means a fear of. Words have meanings. I don't wrestle with flesh and blood. I wrestle with principalities, but don't get it twisted. Talk so slick, so fine, but you better not come across this property line. And the brother Angelic says, we are here to show correlations and build instead of arguing like the test 8. Thank you, Buddha. Thank you, man. I ain't even mean to ignore you that, man. I was just hoping I didn't look down and see old Scott type anything else stupid, but you're absolutely correct. And I hope that you've gotten something from this. If you're watching this now at a later date. In closing, and I'm going to go ahead and end the live, I want to say, may the Most High bless and keep you. All of you, including Scott. May the Most High bless and keep you. May his countenance be gracious unto you. May the Most High smile upon you and give you shalom. That means peace be unto you. And today is a beautiful day. I don't tell people what to do. But if you subscribe to that righteous standard, regardless if you're Muslim, Christian, Jew, atheist, agnostic, regardless if you're straight, black, white, whatever you want to call yourself, if you can help somebody in a positive and constructive manner, then help that person, regardless of who that person is. If you can help somebody in a positive, constructive fashion, help that person. And if you can't, or if you just refuse to, just leave that person alone. That's the law and the prophets. All praise the Most High Yah. He's given us this beautiful day. And I'm going to enjoy this day. This new day, because it just started. And to my Buddha Angelic Discipline, thank you for joining the live. Scott Schaefer, thanks for joining the live and providing the evidence. I hope you work on your syndrome. And that's not even a cleanup or an insult. Because like I said, SBS is not an insult. Okay. It is something that we all have had a taste of. And I'm going to go ahead and take screenshots of your sexually deviant comments before I go, so that people will know. And I'm going to leave you all with a overcast view of this beautiful day. And a reminder that the rain falls on the wicked and the just alike. And I'm gonna show y'all something. This is how good the Most High is. See, I got peppers. Look at all these tomatoes. I got tomatoes. I got rosemary. That one right there is almost, oh, look at that one. You see how good Yahweh is? Taste and see how good the Most High is. You don't have to be deviant. Okay, Google, take a screenshot.
I've taken a screenshot for you.
Yeah, now Scott, I'm gonna go ahead and up there. So you can go ahead and try to backpedal. But instead of debating me, because my lives are not a place for debates or arguments, next time you come, Scott, have a conversation. Have a conversation. You might say, oh, well, this ain't no beautiful day. It's overcast. It look like it's about to rain. The rain falls on the wicked and the just alike. And everybody has a choice every day. What master you gonna serve? What master? A man cannot serve two masters, for he'll love one and hate the other. You understand? Well, see, my neighbor's got a four-wheeler. And me and my son, we got to get this go-kart running, so.
Well, we really got to get a mini bike running to get the go-kart running.
Right. I got to fix the carburetor, right? We're going to get on that, and we're going to get on that today. It's not the Shabbat. We'll go ahead and work on that. Okay, well, to everybody, I'm going to sign off, man. Most High bless and keep you, man. His kindness be gracious unto you. If you watch this now at a later date, may the Most High smile on you and give you shalom. That means peace be unto you. I'm the Mad Trucker. Thanks for watching. All right, son. Let's